So yeah, I
Yeah, why
think
not, man? Let's get to it.
yeah. So the last time I did this, I didn't like really properly introduce like who I was interviewing, but yeah,
Yeah.
because this is like I'm gonna post this, right? So
Yeah, of course.
yeah, so yeah, everyone who will be watching this, this is Kumo. We met through the internet, and like it's been pretty cool, like how things have come about. Like we've been working on a bunch of stuff. I've been doing the artwork for his
Yes, we
stuff, and
have.
his you all should check out his album Exospheric, which is out right now. I was just on the Genius page because I was like, oh shit, he already put his stuff on Genius, so that's sick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my fucking my niece and my nephew are
yeah.
like they're like kind of like my biggest inspiration when it comes to my music, and they're always asking me, like, "Yo, what did you say there? What did you mean by that?" So they kind of like made me put all this shit on Genius. So shout out to
Yeah,
them.
man, it's really important actually because I don't know, man. Everyone's like attention span is like really small right now, and we put a lot of work into like our music and stuff, and you want people to actually hear it and get the meaning out of it. Like there are a lot of artists which do stuff which is like the music itself is like supposed to be trendy and like for the moment, but like I feel like you're making stuff anyway which is like you're supposed it's like listening at home music, like you sit and you listen to it and you get the meaning out of it. So it's I think you need to, man, like this is sick, like to be able
Yeah, I
to read
appreciate
it
that. I
and
appreciate
like
that. I know it's something that like
yeah,
most people probably don't even care about. Like most probably
yeah,
like 95% of people who listen to this shit are probably gonna be like, "Oh yeah, this is pretty cool," and not really like get into the deeper meaning. But
yeah,
for those few like ourselves, for like me and
yeah.
yourself, who like to delve deep into shit, like it's cool to have those there.
And like
You know.
I already know the lyrics because I heard it a bunch of times, but just reading it, it's like when you read it, it's something else. Like you know what I'm saying?
Dude, for me too,
Yeah,
honestly, because I don't write like in
yeah,
my phone or anything. Like I
yeah,
write I write like with paper, like
yeah,
pad and pen. So or pencil, I mean. I don't use pen. So
yeah,
having to read like type them out, I'm like, damn,
yeah,
this is hard. Like I didn't because honestly, this is like
yeah,
my first this album. I had to learn how to write
yeah,
for this album. I'm a producer. That's what I started doing. I'm comfortable making music for my homies and stuff. Maybe like, and then even after that, I got comfortable making like choruses. That's real easy to me. That's like a part of production is the chorus. But then to really like get into the verses and start to develop the story from
yeah.
there, that was real tough for me. So it's just I was proud to like read back, the lyrics. Like, damn, this is hard. Like I would fuck with this, no matter who
Yeah.
this was.
Yeah, and like everyone's verses are sick, man. Like even
Oh,
one
100%. Yeah,
thing
my
which I
homies.
found, like I when I hear your tracks, I can't distinguish you and Remy. Like your voices are very similar. Like, but there's a different vibe to it for sure. But like, if I didn't read that that's Remy and that's you, I would not know the difference. Like you'll both have that full like melodic vibe. Like I think I
We
confused
got to do
them.
something about that, yeah,
Yeah,
because you're not the first person to say that. There's a
yeah.
couple people who said that, but
I mean,
it
like
is what it
yeah,
is. We
like
have the same vocal range.
yeah, like that the quarantine video, like I can see both of y'all, like so I know, but
Exactly.
yeah, like I thought like he was wherever you have Frankie Jacks, I thought it was him because I didn't see any photos of him, so I thought like like I don't know that kind of flow, it kind of suits his image for some reason, but no, it's like he's fully like melodic and stuff. It's sick. I think I'm gonna like
Yeah,
interview like all
100%.
of y'all, like because I feel like all of y'all are like really like y'all are different, but y'all all are on the same wavelength. So it's like that's sick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. It is weird in that way that all my homies
yeah,
are mad unique. Like we all have like we're just totally our own people, but at the same time, obviously we have a lot of common ground.
yeah. Like
Um,
even Fuji, man, like his lyrics are something else. Like they're so chill, but like I can like feel the spiritual like thing behind him. Like when it's like he's on that path, like he's found someone in his mind already. So it's like kind of made him not care about like the stuff around him. And it's like I really resonate with that. Like he's found something like especially in Beams. Like I was reading the lyrics, I was like, I
yeah.
vibe with this. Like when I heard it, I was like, "Wait, cool. It's like
Ooh.
some cool like bars and shit." But then when I actually read it, I was like, "Fuck, this is sick." Like
Went stupid on that song, man.
yeah.
Love that first verse on Beams.
So yeah, man, what's
Love
been
that.
up like the last week or so?
Last week or
Any?
so, I don't know. We just had our first show since quarantine is over on this side. So that was fun. That was a lot of fun actually. It was kind of went as well as it could go realistically. Um, just other than that, yeah, just been doing music shit. Setting up other shows, you know, rehearsing with the band and stuff. For the shows we got going on in the future. Went to Six Flags. That was fun. So yeah, just been having fun making music.
So is everything like more or less open now? Like you can go places as long as it's like not like too crowded, or is it like still?
Yeah, for us over
Yeah.
here, they don't. Nobody cares anymore. Like it's, I guess technically quarantine or
Yeah.
the quarantine order, like the restrictions won't lift until next week or later this week. But for the past like 2 weeks or so, yeah, businesses don't give a fuck. Like you just walk in, all restaurants are full. Like Disneyland's open, Six Flags is open. You know, certain places might try to like
Yeah.
uphold the standards for now, but for the most part, everyone's kind of over it.
Yeah.
Most people are vaccinated at this point, so I feel
Yeah.
like that's
So
just kind of
so
how
I guess
everyone's
yeah,
looking
then
at
it's
it.
more
How are
chill.
things over there? Though? I've been kind of meaning to ask you about that
So
in India.
it's like it's really confusing, man. Like I really haven't
Yeah,
been out like since this thing happened. Like the max I did is I went with my family like to a hill station nearby, and like for a few
yeah,
days. But like I've seen a lot of people like moving around and stuff, and they like, yeah, they're like, yeah, it's chill. But the scene in India is, firstly, our population density is way higher, especially in the
one
cities.
hundred percent. Yeah,
And there are a lot of poor people. Like, the poverty here is very different from the poverty in the US. Like, there, the thing is, like in the US, you have a lot of like issues in terms of like classification of people and like, like they discriminate people and do stuff like based on that. But over here, it's more just that people don't have like the resources in terms of like basic stuff. Like, you don't have like basic healthcare in like a lot of villages and all. And a lot of people from the villages come to the cities like for work. And like,
I see.
if there's no work, they have to go back to the villages. So it's like it kind of fucks it up because they take the virus back with them, and like the death toll was like really high. So now the government is like shut everything down again for a bit because like they had opened it up because we had good numbers on paper at least for a while. So I guess they thought, fuck it, like maybe we are like more immune to this stuff or something, like and they opened up everything and it caused a lot of mayhem, man. So
Yeah,
yeah.
because it got bad, right? For a bit. That's what we were hearing
I
on this
mean,
side.
yeah, it's still bad, like, but like, I mean, like, we don't, no one wants to like just wallow in that shit. So like, people aren't gonna keep talking about it, but yeah, things are fucked up, like, and it's affected everything, like it has. Yeah,
Yikes.
yeah,
Yeah, prayers up to y'all, man. Hopefully that shit gets figured out soon. But I know it's really tough considering, like you're talking about the density of the population.
yeah.
Like, it seems like it's just like a really, really hard thing. Even over here, that was a really big thing. Even though it's not nearly as
Like New
many
York,
as
right?
dense as it is over there. It's just hard to get everyone on the same page, you know.
Yeah,
So once certain people start to get over it, once certain people start to go outside and they ain't got no mask on, they're not taking the precautions. Then there's
yeah.
other people that are looking at them like, okay, well, fuck it, they're not doing it,
No,
so
no,
I'm
I
not gonna
mean
do
that
it.
shit
And then
happens here, like on some other level, like what I'm saying. It's like
yeah,
people are like, you know what? Fuck it, I just have to like do something to show that I'm
yeah,
like complying with everything, and then I'll just coast through everything and like it'll be fine. But I mean, that's not the reason why we're doing all this shit anyway, right? Like the reason is like you don't want to like fuck up everything for the older people. You don't want to fuck up stuff for like people who don't have access to this shit. So
100%,
yeah, so
yeah.
it's like
Because if it's up to me, I don't care. Like I'll be fine.
yeah, like I don't
Even though I
care, bro.
had it,
Like
that was the thing. I was
yeah.
super precautious, like for other people's sake, and then I ended up getting COVID. Anyways, so I was taking all the precautions. I didn't go anywhere except the fucking grocery store, so that has to be where I would have caught it from. And I got it bad. Like it was like I was concerned for a bit. It was like 2 days where like I couldn't even fucking I had to like manually breathe. I lost my autonomous breathing functions. I had to literally like try 140% to maybe get 20% of breath. It was terrible. And I consider myself to be a pretty healthy dude, so I understood like, damn, if I had some real like health issues, maybe if I was like overweight or if I had asthma or something like that, like I would be in bad shape. I understand how people end up in the hospital over this.
Yeah, that's what it's like. It's quite serious, and that's a scary thing. It's not you don't know if it'll be serious for you.
Yeah, it's
And
terrible. And
yeah,
dude, it was right before the Worst Gen album came out. So I was trying to, maybe that's a bit irresponsible. I was trying to figure out what we can do. Can we do some sort of like album release thing, like in a conscious, safe sort of way? And then it ended up getting COVID anyways. So it kind of just put an end to that. But yeah, that shit is serious. Shit is
But
serious.
yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Your music is like listening at home music, so it's chill that way. Like there are a lot of people whose music only works in those settings, like
Yeah,
in a
I
club or
think
like
I think yeah,
yeah,
the project that we put together, starting with the worst gen one and Exospheric, but starting with the worst gen, like it was kind of perfect timing. The time that we put it out, like you said, you kind of have to live with it and sit with it and listen to what we're saying. So for us to have that ready, like kind of like in the height of COVID, it kind of helped out. You know what I mean? Because if we would have released it, let's say like in the summer, like a normal summer where people are outside, then maybe that's not the kind of music you want to hear.
yeah,
You know, maybe you're more geared towards something that's like, hype or more. I mean, there's hype songs on there, but more less conscious, if that's the way you want to put it. You know?
yeah. Like there are a lot of like hype songs that way, but like Joey Badass, like he has a lot of songs which are like the beats are like you can really like dance to that shit, but you can listen to it at home as well because it has a message. So it's like
Yeah,
so yeah, I don't think the rhythms like
one
matter
hundred
that much.
percent.
It's more like the context. Like you wouldn't listen to some like ultra trap like which watered down like with watered down lyrics just about like being in the club. You wouldn't listen to that now. Like there's no point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that whole like genre died out. I mean, it's coming back now because it's about to be, at least over here. It's looking like people are coming out for summer. Everyone's just like kind of over it. So there's a lot more of that coming out, and it's easier for that kind of music to thrive. But that was just dead. Like it would be stupid to release, like, I don't know, like a Playboy Cardi album, for
Yeah.
instance. Like in the middle of like music that's meant to be listened to with other people to mosh. It's not really to think. It just sounds
Yeah,
dope.
you need more
Um,
people. That's what like then everyone's
no
like,
one wanted
oh
to really
fuck,
hear
this
that.
is some shit. Like, they get into that energy. Like that shit has its place.
Yeah.
Like I like that shit, but like yeah, it's like what do you do with it right now?
There's a lot of good albums
Yeah.
that came out during COVID or during this whole little last year cycle that I felt like were kind of wasted. Like, damn, by the time you're able to perform that, it's old already. Like, no one even wants to hear that, unfortunately. Like
Yeah.
I wish it's like, and that's especially the case because that type of music has like a shorter shelf life than the more conscious stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. But
Yeah.
like
So
I
that's
still find myself listening to like some of those type of songs like from really like long ago. Like the other day I just started listening to Daddy Yankee. I never used to like him. But like I listened to a song like fuck, this shit is mad. Like actually it has such a nice bounce to it. And
Yeah, I really do.
yeah.
It's like a timepiece too, especially those
Yeah.
kind of ones. Like when it's been a while, because Daddy Yankee was like
Yeah,
in like the
ages ago.
early thousands, mid
Yeah,
thousands.
like
So once it's been
Gasolina.
a while, it becomes
Yeah.
a little bit more appealing. There's like maybe 2, 3, 4 years after that, and it's not cool no more. And then after maybe 10 years, it's like, oh, okay, let's go back and listen to that, and we can remember what times were like back then.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I had one more question for you actually. Like, what is your name really mean? Because I remember like googling it before, and it said like it's some type of Japanese monster that Godzilla fought or something like that. But is that
Oh wow, I didn't know
yeah?
that. But no, Kumo essentially just means spider. It means spider in
Yeah,
Japanese.
it was a
Um,
spider. Yeah, that's what. Like, let me show you the picture of that. 1 second.
yeah, I want to
Yeah,
see that. What the fuck? I didn't know that. I never watched the Godzilla movie, so that's interesting.
Kumo. If I just type Kumo, that's what shows up. Uh, okay, yeah. See
Kumo.com? Who got my
these
name?
spiders over here.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That shit looks intense. Japanese term for
I guess yeah,
spider.
it's just a Japanese word, and they probably used it for like one of those because this looks like one of those Godzilla type things. Like they have I don't know what they're called. Even those I think they're called kaiju's or something. Yeah, but
Kaijus.
yeah, but yeah, it's quite interesting, man. Yeah, the spider.
Yeah,
Yeah,
spider. That's just like I don't know. Throughout my whole life, I've loved
yeah,
spiders so much. I've felt like connected to them, and it's one of those things that have just always
yeah,
continuously came back. My older brother, he went by the name of Kumo, so that's why it's kind of like Kumo the third.
yeah,
Because I'm kind of from a separate dimension, kind of doing this thing. And actually, I had a lady tell me once that was my spirit animal, and that was like years after the fact. My brother passed away, and then she told me totally, and that your spirit animal is a spider. I said, boom, that's it. Like I know what I'm gonna use now, and I've always kind of felt in a weird way that like I identified with that role. You know what I mean? Just like I
No,
kind of
you
put this
you
web
are
together.
like because it's like you've connected like so many people together, like and it's very etheric also the spiders like roll like you can't see their webs when they're spinning them. It's only when
Mhm.
when they're really old the webs they become visible to us, and that's when the work is already done. And
Wow, that's dope.
yeah, like I was thinking about it because this one time I was in the shower and I saw this spider and it looked like it was flying, like it was just going
Hmm.
straight up. You couldn't see any webs, but you could see some other random webs like everywhere else. So I was like, fuck,
Right.
you can't see them. And I always knew like they called it like the animal for progress. And it makes sense because like to progress things, you do need to connect a lot of diverse things together, and
Hmm.
it has to be a structure in a way. It has to like hold everything. So I think it makes a lot of sense that you chose that name because
Yeah,
yeah,
it kind of just chose me. It just made
yeah.
sense. I didn't think too hard about it. It's just what it is, and that kind of it fits. It makes sense. So
Like, I
that's what I
remember
went
telling
with.
you,
You
I was
know.
like, "Fuck, your name is Justice. That's sick." Like,
I would have loved
yeah,
to use that, by the way.
yeah.
I would have loved just to have used my government name,
No, but
because I
you
love.
can like still use it in your songs, right? Like I'm
Yeah, yeah,
like people call Kendrick K Dot and they call him Kendrick. Like Lil Wayne has like 5 names, like
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So
But it's just like my actual like I can't really release music under my name because that's already like a super
yeah, it's very
successful
common.
and awesome
Yeah.
fucking production duo named Justice
Oh,
that they
there's.
would sue me for using my actual name. And I'm a huge fan of them. I've been a huge fan of them since I was a kid.
I need to check them
And
out.
I've
I haven't heard of them.
yeah, they're sick. They're
Justice.
really dope. Look, yeah, listen to their first album. What's it called? Was it Genesis?
Genesis. What is it? This is
Oh no, The Cross is the first
yeah,
album. But yeah, Genesis is like one of my
yeah,
favorite songs off that album.
yeah,
But but yeah, they're super dope. When I was a kid, they were more popular. When I was like, 10, 11, 12 is when I kind of discovered them. And I was hoping by the time I was an adult, they would kind of be finished so I could use my name again. But
yeah,
they dropped an album like a year or two before like so I was like, fuck, I have to choose a new name. So I kind of went on a search. I was
yeah.
like, man, maybe it could be this, maybe it could be that. And then Kumo just came to me naturally and I was like, yeah, I like that. That feels right.
Yeah, when I was in school and I started writing raps, I remember my rap name used to be Entropy, and like I chose that name,
Entropy?
Entropy, like the
Nice.
thermodynamics thing. So
Nice.
I chose. Have you played Unreal Tournament 3?
Unreal Tournament. No, I haven't actually.
Okay, so that game there were like these bots, right, which you like add to your like match, like when you play deathmatch or something. So the name of the
Yeah,
one of the bots was Entropy. So I was like, fuck, that's a cool name, and
that's
like
dope. I like that word a
yeah,
lot.
and he used to his like when you kill people, like in these games they have those things which they say like when you like kill someone. So his thing used to be your programming is inferior, and I always found that like really cool, like So
That's hard.
I took that as my like rap name, and I didn't understand what it actually meant. And now I use my actual name, but it means like the disorder in anything will keep increasing. Like that's a law of entropy. So entropy is the disorder. So it makes sense. Like I feel like
Disorder.
yeah, even though like I'm a very chill guy that way,
Or randomness.
it's like I have to like create disorder, and if I don't do that, then everything just stays stagnant, and I can't deal with that.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
what you mean.
yeah,
I know what you mean. That's kind of what like I believe my purpose is to just do some different stuff that's never been done before, that's never been heard, and make a new mixture of the things that I love and that influence me, that have like inspired me and charge me, keep me going in a way that it's never been done before. There's so many different things. There's so many different um styles and tempos and stuff like, but I don't know, a lot of people tend to want to fall in line with what's already been done. They want to sound like somebody else or something, like when there's a billion different ways to do it. There's a
yeah,
billion different ways to do it, and maybe half a billion ways that it's been done.
yeah,
And then there's still that whole other dark side that hasn't been discovered yet, or
yeah.
that, we haven't really played with. So I try to just, make myself comfortable in the void.
Yeah, like I feel like what you're saying is like really true, man. Like about people like trying to do something which is already there, but it's fine. Like it's fine to do that. But the thing is,
Right.
they want to do that, but they don't even want to say that that they're taking from something, which I think is fucked up. Like it's easier, better
Right.
to actually take from everything, but acknowledge it and then create your own thing out of it because that's what you're gonna do anyway if you do your own stuff.
Right.
But like if you're
If
like
you're a true
yeah.
creative.
Yeah, but like if you're just trying to copy someone and then make your whole image like them and then not even acknowledge it, I think that's fucked up.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
weird. Like, because everyone else sees it, you're not hiding it.
Yeah.
Everyone knows where you got that from.
Yeah.
You know.
No, like it's
So
weird
it's
though.
like,
I really like Travis Scott. Like his shit has really impacted me. But the first time I saw him, I thought like he was trying to copy ASAP Rocky, but that was just wrong. Like he wasn't. I just thought they looked
mhm.
alike. Like he had this.
If anything, the funny
Yeah,
thing about that, because I heard a
yeah.
bunch of people say that before too. But if anything, ASAP Rocky's trying to copy Travis Scott and his
Now,
style
right?
in a way
Yeah,
because ASAP
yeah,
Rocky is inspired by that Houston sound. Like Travis Scott is from Houston. He's just doing what he knows. He's doing where
yeah,
what he came from. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
ASAP Rocky kind of just took that image. He's a New York dude who took the Houston image, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, actually, yeah. His like
So if
his accent is when he raps, his cadence is very southern. It is, and also
yeah,
like
Rocky, right?
yeah, Rocky, and also like Travis's shit is like it's very different. It's just that when I saw the Antidote video for the first time, it's like in that video his face was obscured, so you can only see his braids. So I was like, he
Yeah.
has the exact ASAP Rocky braids. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'd only seen those braids on ASAP Rocky. And just
Uh-huh.
1 second, my friend is calling. I just tell him I'm in the middle of
Yeah,
an
of course.
interview. Yo, bro. Yo, can I call you back? Or I'm kind of in the middle of an interview I'm doing like on the internet. Yeah, yeah. I'll call you back, okay? Sure. Cool. So yeah, sorry about that. So yeah,
No, you good.
like yeah, man, like Travis's shit like really affected me because I was like, this guy like he has such a vibe to his music, and it's so hard also, and it's kind of he shows people how to like express the love for like the art form which he's doing, but it's not like he's
Hmm.
saying like okay, I'm all about the art. It's like kind of just there, it. Like his songs are like experiences. Like they start and they go somewhere and then it turns into something else. And
I do love that. I
yeah,
love all artists that are like that.
yeah,
He's a conductor for sure. He's one of the conductors of like this whole operation. He's not just taking beats and then here's a verse and here's a chorus, here's another verse and then it's over. It's like no, we're gonna. This whole thing is a movie. Each song is a movie that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. That'll be kind
yeah,
of like transition smoothly into the sequel, which is the
yeah,
next song, and then it just keeps. I love that shit. He has that obviously. Pharrell has that. Ye has that. Like those have always been my favorite artists. Just the
yeah.
conductors
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
all these artists which you mentioned, like no one makes shit like them.
No way.
No one.
Because that's
Yeah,
the thing. If you're a true conductor, a true creative like that, then nobody can do what you do because
yeah,
you're just doing yourself.
yeah,
You're doing exactly what's coming naturally to you and exposing your natural tempo, your natural rhythm to the world that cannot be duplicated.
yeah,
So even for me, I feel like Exospheric is that. I feel like nobody could make that.
yeah,
I probably won't even be able to make that again. If I try to
yeah,
make something else, it probably wouldn't be Exospheric again. Because that's how I felt at that time. Like I just kept it real with myself. I wasn't trying to like sound or be like anybody else. I was just like, this is what I want to hear in this moment at this time. And like even if you gave me the same beats, right? Like if you could just like erase that from my head, erase Exospheric from my head, and then you just give me the beats, I would do something totally different with it right now because I'm in a different space. I'm in a different
yeah,
headspace. I've experienced different things. I'm just I would feel like talking about different things. So that's just what happens with those artists for sure.
yeah. No, all of them have impacted me. Like especially like Kanye, and
Mm-hmm.
even T
It's
Pain.
my guy.
Like T Pain, like I don't know why like people like don't like really listen to his shit that much anymore. But like his shit is something else.
It's really
Yeah,
amazing. It really
yeah,
is amazing. He don't get his flowers like he deserves. And to think
yeah,
he was that young when he came out too. Like he
yeah,
seemed older, but he was like 17, 18, 19 when he blew up.
yeah. Whoa,
Yeah,
he
bro.
didn't seem like that. Like he seemed much more like I don't know, mature or something. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
right? Because there was so
yeah,
much musical maturity
yeah,
in his voice, maturity, I
yeah,
guess, in his content.
yeah.
He was a young kid. Like, really, he's only like, if you could look it up, he's probably only like 34, 35 right now.
Yeah, let me look up how old he is. Yeah, he's 35 right
I'm
now.
at the bartender. Yeah, so he's 35 right now. It's
Yeah.
2021. Damn, when did he come out? When was his first? But yeah, he was young. He was like 16, 17, 18.
his first
when he blew up?
album was I think rapper turned
That
singer.
rapper turned
Yeah,
singer. Yeah.
yeah, uh,
2005, dude.
yeah, yeah. That's a long time ago. I was how old was I? I was like 12.
Yeah, so what's
Yeah.
35? Yeah, 35 minus 16. Yeah, he was what,
Mm.
19? That's amazing.
Yeah, that is like when I was like that age, I used to listen to shit like Snoop Dogg, Lil Jon, Ice Cube. Like I used
In
to go
2005?
yeah, when I was like 12. So
Oh, when you were 12.
yeah. So when I used to go to school, I used to tell people like listen to Lil Jon and stuff, and like they would hear it and get traumatized because they're like, "What the fuck are you listening to?"
Yeah, that's correct. I wanted to ask
Yeah,
you about that too. I
yeah,
know I'm not supposed to be. I know you're supposed to be interviewing me, but
yeah,
like you know so much about American culture. Like it's
yeah.
always been like that, right? For you guys, like,
So the thing is, have like
or is it just like,
I have
is that just a
cousins.
you thing?
No, I have cousins who live in New Jersey. Like one of them passed away actually, but like
Mm,
they used to come here every year, and they used to like make us
put
listen
you
to like
on.
music that they listen to and stuff like that.
Oh, that's so cool.
So like that way, I was exposed to this stuff like at an early age. Like I heard like Lil Wayne before like it actually hit over here. And then when it hit over here, like everyone, there a bunch of these kids, like like YMCMB, and like they're just always saying YMCMB, and they used to spray paint it
Yeah.
everywhere. But they didn't know shit like about how much Lil Wayne has done before that point. You know what I'm saying? And like,
Right.
so my cousins used to expose me to this music like quite a bit, and I just never like um, I didn't like have too many like friends, and even if I had
Right.
friends, like they used to spend time like hanging out with other people because they used to like have like common things they used to like maybe they used to like cricket or things like that. Like it's weird.
I
I don't
see.
like any of the sports which are like popular here. I used to like basketball, but the scene is
I see.
there are very few like basketball like courts, and also there are very few schools which actually have decent basketball teams with coaches who like know how to like
I see.
yeah teach that shit. So
So what was some of like
yeah,
the first? What was like one of the first things you remember like your cousins bringing to you? Like, yo, listen to this.
uh, I don't remember the first thing, but like they even exposed me to Pokemon, like stuff like that, like
Oh,
Pokemon.
cool. Wow.
I got that shit like way before everyone else. So I was like, fuck, this is some mad shit. And like they had Game Boys, and also like, oh fuck, this is a video game. Like, oh, you can play like stuff
That's
on
so wild.
yeah. And like I remember like there's a song called "I Like That" by Houston. This artist called Houston. Have you heard of him?
No, I don't think so.
So yeah, I remember that song, and like stuff like 50 Cent. Um, I remember Lil Wayne was like a big one. Like they were obsessed with Lil Wayne, and I was like, "Fuck, this shit is mad!" Like he's rapping in such crazy ways. Like no,
That's really cool
yeah,
too. I don't know. I'm very interested in like the spread of even like what you just said. Like I'm interested in the lineage and like where things originate from and where
yeah,
they end up. Because even the fact that you said they introduced you to Pokemon is crazy to me.
yeah,
Because Pokemon obviously is popularized in Japan,
yeah,
created and popularized over there, and then it's popular enough to where it makes it to America, and
yeah,
then from America it goes all the way back to India, which is
yeah,
way closer to you guys. But it
yeah.
had to make it to America first to get to you.
Yeah,
You know?
like I feel like if whatever we are consuming here, it is mostly American. Now things have changed a
Mm.
bit because like the whole world has opened up more. So if you turn on TV nowadays, you get shows from other countries. Like you get stuff from Australia, you get stuff
Oh wow.
from the UK and all. But for the most part, like most of our like TV, we had this TV channel which used to have like all the like foreign shows. So you used to have stuff like
Yeah.
Friends and like all that kind of stuff. You know how. Then much later, when like we had like a lot of stuff actually. We had like most of the shows like which you have like How I Met Your Mother, and like My Wife and Kids, and like
That's
House.
so crazy.
Yeah, so we have all those TV shows. We have our own TV shows and all. But like the thing is, there's a big divide here in terms of the youth. Like there are people like me who like
Mm.
all the like stuff from abroad, and there are people who like the stuff here. Because the thing is, it's really a divide in terms of like language and education. Like obviously, I can speak Hindi and all, but would I choose to like consume Hindi media? Not necessarily. Like only if it's actually good. because a lot of it is
I
not
see.
like, you know what I'm saying. It's like a lot of the Bollywood stuff here. It is like direct like remakes of a lot of foreign movies, but in our language,
I see.
and like they change the themes and shit. But there's also a lot of good movies, so those are worth watching. I would watch them, but for the most part, I wouldn't like look for media over here.
I
I never
see.
have, like, you know what
Hmm.
I'm saying.
You got to
Yeah.
shoot me some cool Bollywood movies. I'd love to check those out. I'm a huge movie guy. So
No, for sure. Like, I remember Jay Feliciano sent me like this video. He's like, "What do you think about this?" Because like, you know that guy Just Rain, like this Indian guy on Instagram, like who does some really like funny shit. So he said, he's like, "What do you think about this? Does this offend you?" So I was like, "No, man, this shit is hilarious." So he's like, "Oh fuck, it's good to know." Like, and then I sent him a bunch of like funny shit, which from here actually, I was like, "See, this is kind of shit we have here." And like I told him also, I was like, there's good stuff also, but like if you want to see the really funny stuff, this is the funny stuff. So yeah, I remember
yeah,
that
it's
day. You know, I was like, fuck, because yeah, like if you want to see like some really good movies, probably I'll like recommend some to you. Maybe you can get them with subtitles. Yeah,
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 that'd be cool.
yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously I would need the subtitles too, but I would assume yeah they would have American subtitles hopefully for some of the
Yeah,
bigger
they do
ones.
because a lot of people actually do watch them in the US. Like, and like not just Indian
Yeah.
people, like I think other people also, there are people who are like into all this stuff, so they do watch that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now it's like
Yeah, I'm
a standard thing to have subtitles for movies.
yeah,
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, because I'm like a big movie dude. That's kind of like the field I am ultimately moving into. I want to make films.
yeah,
Um,
you should,
and
man.
I'm kind of using music. I'm kind of
Yeah,
using music as kind of like a segue into that. Because that's just my since a kid. I mean, music for sure too. Music speaks to me in such a deep way that I understand is like not all people like feel music the same way I do. Some people don't listen to music at all. You know, like but music is very important to me. It's like a very spiritual.
yeah.
It's a healing thing for sure. Um,
Do you feel it's
but
like
movies, yeah, to me, I
this?
think film is
Yeah,
just like the highest pedigree of like art to me
yeah. Like
because it requires
you're
like
getting to
every other
use
form of
everything.
art to be done like brilliantly.
Yeah, like you're using all those aspects which like you can manipulate, like the visuals, the audio, and like the
The
time.
scripts,
Yeah,
the colors,
yeah,
yep,
like
the
yeah,
music. It's just so much to work with, and it seems really cool. And in working on that icy video that me, you, and Mason worked on, that was like my closest experience to doing that yet. You know what I mean? Like having
yeah,
this idea that that I kind of just conceptualized, and then I hit up Mason, and he helps me like further develop that and turn it into what it is, and then we have you along for to really like give it that extra bit of exosphericness that it needs. That was just a lot of fun. Like watching that
yeah.
come from just an idea to like, damn, this is a whole thing that's always going to be there. That I'm going to be able to show like whatever, my kids, my nephews and stuff in 20, 25 years. And to me, that's going to be dope in 20 years. So,
No, I think yeah,
y-
like and it's like it's crazy. Like I told you, like even the first time when I made the album art for Worst Gen, it's just like I listened to the music
right.
and I was like, wow, this stuff like it makes me feel like drawing stuff. And I drew some stuff and I made the thing and it
Wow.
just worked out, right? But I've worked with other
Yeah.
people where they've like given me a brief, like they've told me, okay, we want something like this, and it's not even something complex to do. It's like some simple stuff. But I don't know,
Yeah.
man. Like it just doesn't connect. Like I end up like making some stuff, and they're like, "Oh, can you do it like this?" And I do some changes, and the most satisfying thing is when you actually feel like, no, I know what I have to do with this, and the other person also knows that I know, and I know that they know. It's just so much better. Like it's so much better that way. Like yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
something else.
exactly. No, like that's
Yeah,
why I kind of gave you so much freedom with that because even before like we had spoken, like just going through your page, I'm like, okay, this is an artist. This is an
yeah,
artist. Like he knows what he's doing. This doesn't feel
yeah,
like another artist. Like you know what I mean? Of course, there's things in
yeah.
that you dabble into
No, but
that you've
I know
seen
what you're
before, but it's
saying.
like as
Yeah.
a whole, and like no, this shit is a purely personal expression. All your art is a personal expression. Um, and I knew we would kind of like, and then once we spoke, I knew for sure that we were gonna, kind of be on the same page. So we went out to LA and took the photo shoot with Young Mace. And I just kind of just like sent you like I don't know 40 of the best pictures, and I kind of gave you a
Yeah,
general idea like yo, just like
I have so many
put us all in there.
photos of y'all. I could actually just sit and play around with them like for like months, like There's so many photos. There's so many things I could actually do with them. When I have some free time, I'm probably gonna do that. Like even for the canvas thing, which you were saying, like making those Spotify canvases. So I think like
Yeah, yeah,
as ideas hit me and I just look at the photos, I know like okay, this photo is like making me think like maybe I should do this with it. And that's the crazy thing,
yeah.
like when it's open ended and you just people are giving you stuff to react with, and you just react like naturally to it. It's so much better like than having a
Yeah.
very
So
controlled
honestly,
like
when you first sent
environment.
the cover, I had an idea in my head of what the cover would look like, and when you sent it, it wasn't that at all. And it kind of took me a minute to adjust. I looked at it and I was like, I looked at it and I had to put it away. And when I took it
Yeah.
back, I was like, oh, this is fire. I was like,
Which
yeah,
which one are
this
you
is it
talking
for
about though?
sure.
This was the first one or
No, the worst gen cover.
worst?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the worst gen cover. Yeah. Like I don't know. I had an idea in my head, but like I said, you being an artist, and I respect your artistry 100%. And I knew we were gonna meet somewhere in the middle. That was crazy, and I'm super glad with how that shit came out. Shit was crazy.
No, I'm stoked, man. It's sick. Yeah.
I'm super glad with
Yeah.
everything that we've worked on, that we're working on.
Yeah.
It's honestly awesome to have somebody who's like on that same wavelength. You know,
Yeah.
we think in a very similar way. So to have somebody who I could just trust in terms of
Yeah.
like putting these things together. Like I'll just focus on this music and getting these ideas
Yeah.
put together, and then like you know what I mean. I'll send them to you, and then I know you're gonna
Yeah,
do your thing.
it's the best thing. Like I feel like creators, we don't like unnecessary back and forth. We want it to be
Oh
meaningful.
yeah,
We want it to be meaningful. So it's
yeah,
like that's what like fucks it up with me and like doing corporate stuff. It's just like it's just they're just doing shit for formality. You know what I'm saying? They're like okay, like
yeah,
yeah, we want some. We need to put our brand thing. We need the logo thing, and like okay, fine, cool. And they're like they always go with like do something simple because they don't want to pay a lot. So they're like, you know what? Especially over here, like if you ask for people like to do like a logo or something, they'd be like, you know what? Don't do something too crazy. Do something like simple and all. And then they're never happy with it, like you said, because I'm not like a designer. Like I'm not like a graphic designer. I'm more like an artist. So
right.
if it's not a challenge or it's like simple stuff also works, but it has to have the purpose, right? Like
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, so that's what like people don't even get that. Like sometimes if you want the good simple stuff, it might be more expensive than like something which is like detailed for the sake of it, like getting that
Right.
balance and shit. So it's just that whole like thing, the back and forth. So they're like, okay, maybe you can do some more changes, and then people are like, you know what, I'm paying this guy, so let me just like see how many variants he can do. But they don't think about the fact that asking someone to do so many variants means the quality of each variant is gonna go down. And
Pretty much.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
if it's an artist, if he doesn't like the way like the experience is as he's creating these things, he's not gonna like do a good job, and it's you're gonna suffer. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah,
everyone
it's
will
like
suffer.
what do they call that? It's like a point of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, 1, 2, 3. But then after this, like, all right, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah, like
we could just do a whole new thing at this point. I don't even want to see
like
this
even with
anymore.
my own shit, like I feel that with my own shit, like
Exactly.
when you mix a song and you're like, okay, this song is done. I think like that you should just go with that. Like sometimes, like maybe if you give it to someone to mix, it's a different thing because they're coming at it with a fresh perspective. But you mixing your own song again and again with no breaks in the middle, I think that's dangerous. Like I've fucked up a lot of my songs.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that.
for sure.
Like especially the loudness thing. What do you think about like setting the like loudness of your songs? Like you know what I'm saying?
I feel like
Yeah.
I'm a fan of dynamics.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of like, just dynamics in the overall song and each
Yeah.
instrument and stuff. I understand that things have to be loud, so it's a middle ground, but I tend to lean more towards dynamics.
No, your
Like I feel like
stuff
with a lot of my music
deep.
is more based off of like older shit than it
Yeah.
is like shit that's coming out now. So that's just what I love. Like Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder, like you just hear like those intense moments get real loud. And that makes it more meaningful. That makes the loudness
Yeah.
more meaningful.
Yeah, like your stuff
that's
has
good.
that full, like it has a depth in the terms of the sound, like
Yeah,
and,
yeah, I
and it's
tried to
decently
maintain
loud
that.
also. Like
Exactly.
I think artists only notice this stuff with their own stuff. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the whole
Yeah.
thing too. That nobody even gives a fuck, like except other
Yeah.
artists.
Yeah.
Like no one even cares about those things, about the mix. Like regular people don't listen to a song
Yeah.
unless it's a terrible mix, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh man, I just wish this mix was like nobody
Yeah.
gives a fuck."
Yeah, I'll tell you which song I think has a really terrible mix. So, have you heard the Arab Money remix? Arab Money by
I don't think so.
Ron Browse and Akon.
No, I don't
Oh,
think so.
I'm gonna send you that because that song it's kind of hilarious. Like it has a lot of good artists on it. So it has Ti. The remix has Ti, Lil Wayne, Akon, Busta Rhymes, but the mix is terrible. Like it's a terrible mix. Yeah, and it's like all big name artists. So I'm like, what the fuck? But you know the times were different then. That was like I think 10 years ago. So
Uh-huh.
like yeah, like now the standards are way different. I feel like even XXX Tentacion, like his first song which he put out, "Look at Me," that shit,
Exactly. Terrible mix.
terrible mix, but somehow like the musicality was there. But this song,
Because the vibe
yeah,
was there.
yeah,
Exactly. They were going for the terrible mix. And if it had a good mix, it would be weird. It wouldn't
yeah,
sound as cool. It would lose a lot of the energy.
yeah,
Like the fact that like the bass is way too loud and distorted, and you know, the voice is like it just adds a very punk thing to it. That if that song was like mixed by like Manny Marroquin or one of like the boss, it would be weird. It wouldn't be as good.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, is there anything you want to talk about, like specifically?
Anything I want to talk about? Shit, not really, dude. No,
Yeah.
I just came to kick it with you.
Yeah, that's what this
Nothing
is
that
fun. Like it's just fun to talk about stuff, especially like you said, like we're on the other side of the world, like, and this is a really trippy thing. Like how I came
yeah,
across your stuff, it's just like this crazy like tree of like connections, you know,
yeah,
all through
yeah.
like just the love of like music and like art. Like I think I told you, like I made a drawing of Absol and like I got in touch with like Absol's like some people who he had set up like thing. Have you heard of Pack Music in California?
Hack music. I'm
Pack
not
Music
sure.
Group. So yeah, I started doing stuff for them, and that's how I met Feliciano because he did some stuff.
Nice.
Do you know Nishwaki Tariq?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
homie. Just
yeah,
met him
yeah.
recently.
That's how I met. Like that's how I came into contact with you, basically. So I met him through like Pack Music, and I actually did a song with him really long back. It was crazy. Like the first time like we
Hey,
collabed, I asked him like, "Bro, can you like send me a sample of you saying 'Stop trying to go viral, motherfucker'?" Like I wanted those words, and I wrote also. I was like, give me one which is like an angry Samuel L. Jackson, and give me one which is like a chill Jamie Foxx. But the Jamie Foxx one ended up sounding more like Frank Ocean, which is good.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is always good. Yeah,
Yeah, like
which is
yeah,
always
that was
good.
like stop trying to go wow, motherfucker. And I was like, fuck, that's sick. Like, and I put that like on my song, and I was like, fuck, this sounds mad. Like, you need to make a verse, you need to like write a verse to this or something, like you know. And like he recorded his verse and sent it, and like I remember I was like, fuck, this song is so mad. Like, it's the most bizarre song ever. I'll send it to you.
It's a dope song though. It's
Yeah,
like dope bizarre for
yeah.
sure.
Have you heard it?
Hey, you know, I have. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. The one with you and
yeah,
Nishwaki, right? I
yeah,
think Jay Feliciano. It's funny. I was gonna
yeah,
mention this because it just came to my head right now. I realized that. I mean, obviously you've seen the Icy video.
yeah,
The benches that video starts on.
yeah,
That's right in my apartments. I'd be there every day. That's where I just go and smoke when I need to go outside or whatever. So I was chilling with Jay Feliciano. We were in a session that day, and we go out there. I'm like, damn, we got to take this visual shit to another level. But I really don't have the time to sit there and do that, and like also put together my album and the Worst Gen album and Amber's album and Remy shit. You know what I mean? So it's like I have to focus on this music shit because there's a lot of music to focus on. So like I was looking for some sort of a graphic design. And he showed me there. He showed me on those benches like, oh yeah, this is a homie from India. He's dope. You know, you can check him out. And I saw your stuff. Immediately fell in love. I was like, this shit is tight. So yeah, it's wild to think about. You know, sitting
yeah,
on those benches, and then it comes full circle because then we ended up doing the Icy
yeah.
video, and
Fuck,
yeah,
that's sick. Because in the video, you're sitting on the bench and you're like, oh fuck, I need to do this shit. I need to-
that's funny. Like that's literally just what I was like that day. I was having like one of those enlightened moments. I
yeah,
was just talking to Josh like, damn, bro, we got to kick down these doors. We got to take this shit to the next level. We got to go to space.
yeah,
Obviously, that's what the whole analogy
yeah,
is. You feel me? The whole
yeah.
with exospheric at least. That's like the whole.
And
It's like a
it
sci-fi
connects to
adventure
me
about me
also.
going to
Like
space.
the whole theme of your album really connects with me also because like I've been telling you, right? Like for some reason I feel like over here there's this sphere which I am in
Yeah,
is like I'm not meant to really be here. I need to exit this sphere.
exactly.
So it was like confirmation for me. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel that
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad that is that for some people because it's an analogy that fits. I feel like in a lot of people's lives. You feel me? Because the picture I'm trying to paint is obviously of like the Earth dying, the Earth being past the point of habilitation.
Yeah.
You know, so like we have to leave this place and make it to the next place, the next planet, and that's an analogy for just the next level in life
Yeah.
because the level that we're at is not sustainable.
Yeah,
I
the whole
am
world
talking about
is
the
gonna
Earth.
collapse. Like honestly, like if shit just keeps going the same way, everything is gonna collapse. And I mean, like you can't like blame anything because it's like we know it's gonna collapse. It's like everyone knows this shit. It's just like,
Yeah.
but obviously,
That's what I'm
like
talking
yeah,
about on No Caps. It's like, you all hear it. She's crying out in pain and you just turned away.
yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. We all know that. We all know that, but what is anyone doing about it besides, just turning a blind eye? And we can do it for sure. I believe that I kind of believe that's a big reason why I wanted to make this album too, just to put more content out that's talking about, I
yeah,
just want people to be conscious of about
yeah,
like the decisions we make and like the direction that we all intend to move in.
yeah,
Like what direction as a conglomerate, like where do we want to be in 10, 15, 100 years?
yeah, and
Like we don't talk about those things enough. We're worried
yeah.
about what's going to happen in a month, how am I going to pay my rent? Where am I going to be at next year? But like I'm thinking about
Yeah,
generations,
yeah, you have to
you
think
know?
like with this type of stuff. Like, thing is, we are being artists. Like, people anyways think we're not doing anything really. Like, and they feel like, oh, you're just an artist, so like, it's shit is easy for you. Like, because you don't have to do like basic shit which most people have to do. Like, if you're doing this as a career, right? But at the same time, like, we have to
Hmm.
like talk about all this shit, right? And at the same time, if you like keep telling people, you need to do this because the world is going to get fucked, they're not going to listen to you. So it's like you have to find this way, like, to get it into their consciousness in a way which is more like metaphorical or something. Because at the end of the day, they have
That
to,
was the hard part about it
yeah,
for sure.
they have to make their own choice, right? So,
For sure.
and
That
like,
was the hard
yeah,
part about it because I want I want my music, I want my art just in general to be inspirational. I want it because the music that I listened to as a kid and right now is inspirational and inspired me to be a better person. I learned a lot from the music that I listened to and from the movies I watched and from the books I read and stuff like that. They kind of like put you. Do you remember the concept of trophic levels like in earth science?
like trophy, like, I don't think so. Let me Google
So
it.
essentially, the concept of
Okay.
trophic levels is about like the diminishing value of energy as it's passed on from vessel to vessel.
Oh
So the
yeah,
sun,
yeah.
yeah,
You
the
lose
sun
energy.
is
Yeah,
exactly. So the sun is the source of energy
yeah,
that is given on earth to the plants. The plants are grazed by, let's say, I don't know, like a mouse or something. That mouse is only able to get 10% of the energy that is withheld in that plant. And then the fox that eats the mouse can only get 10% of the energy that is
yeah,
10% of the energy from that. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
So those are the
yeah,
trophic levels. So, what I mean, I say all that to say that like the like all the art and music and stuff that I've experienced have given me little pieces of experiences that I haven't even fucking experienced. But like you hear certain things and you experience certain things through art and you're like, wow, okay, like it opens your mind up to certain things. And I've become a better person because of those things, and I kind of
yeah,
want to help provide that to other people. I want to help be an inspiration. But it's really the thing about being making seemingly or intention something that you intend to inspire. It's real easy to be corny.
yeah,
It's real easy to be corny. So it's like I have to shroud it. You don't understand, bro.
yeah,
How many times I had to rewrite some of these songs? Like, nah, that's not it. That don't sound good.
yeah,
It has to be just like it has to be good sonically before anyone even
yeah,
like hears a word that I say. Just like
yeah.
sonically has to be nice, and then maybe later they listen to it and they're like, oh man, I never heard that before. That's crazy. You know?
No, I get the full thing about like you don't want to come across as being corny. Like, it just kills
Yeah.
everything. Like, if people be like, fuck this. Like, it's like it's a good cause, but it's corny. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Shout out to Marvin Gaye. He
Yeah,
taught me how to do that. After
yeah,
I heard What's Going On, that album, I was like, oh man, this is it right here.
yeah,
Like he made a whole album about, loving the world and saving the world, save the children, brotherly love, like a different type of love. It's not like regular R&B where it's like, through the grapevine type stuff. Like he went from that, he was like the king, like the king of R&B, and then he made this other album called What's Going On, that's just totally just kicking knowledge to people in a very artful way, in a very tasteful way, where I don't even think most people who listen to those songs like necessarily pick that up. They're just listening to the music because the music, like, it sounds good, but the words that he's really saying are it's profound, you know, and it's very
I
thoughtful.
actually need to
And
hear that because I've only heard one of his songs, like "Let's Get It On." That's the only song of his
oh,
I've
okay,
heard.
yeah,
So I need to listen to Marvin Gaye. He has a lot of music, right? So
he sure does.
yeah,
Yeah, he had like a very Frank Ocean type of like chronology, because similar to Frank Ocean, who had Channel Orange, which is just like a straight pop album, and then he does Blonde, which is like a totally different thing. That's kind of what he did with his first album, which was number one. That's the one that had, you know, Through the Grapevine and Let's Get It On, like all those R&B like sexy kind of songs. And then his next album was just like a total conscious R&B album in a way, conscious soul, I'll say.
is it like
And people were
like
like,
D'Angelo? Like even D'Angelo, I think he had like a lot of
yes,
like yeah, like the more like seductive stuff earlier, and then
yeah,
like he had like Black Messiah. Like that shit is like hard. Like
exactly,
I'm like, what the fuck is this?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
this is
Yeah,
like that
and
song.
so like
Ten thousand
that always
deaths.
throws
I love
people
that
off, you
song.
know.
10,000 deaths. Like that shit is hard. Like, I'm
Yes.
like, what the fuck? Like it starts out like with this crazy like Bible verse type thing, but it's like a
Yeah,
cool Bible verse. Like you know, I'm like, oh fuck, like this is mad.
that's a
Like
great album.
yeah, and
See, that one
yeah.
for me too. That one, I'm a huge D'Angelo fan. But that one threw me off too because I wasn't expecting that from a D'Angelo record. I wasn't expecting Black Messiah. So the first time I heard it, it kind of threw me off. And then as I keep listening to it, I was like, oh man, I fuck with this. I resonate with this, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, what you're saying about the trophic levels, like I feel like it makes sense as an artist. Like we have to also realize that with what we're putting into our work, it has that same trophic level thing, like what you're saying. Like
Yeah,
yeah, like
yeah,
they're not gonna get the 100% of it, but that's why we keep making art. So it's like that 10% still
yes.
matters, like, and it goes out and it
It really
goes.
matters. It really,
It's
really
like
matters.
yeah, it's getting exponentially less, but it's still doing something. Like
It's an
yeah,
accumulative thing. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. Just like, you know, if you eat like bad shit, if you eat McDonald's, whatever, fast food all the time, it's not gonna kill you right
yeah,
away, but it's a cumulative thing. You
yeah,
keep doing that, you keep doing that, it's gonna have effects over time. And our minds are the same way. Like music is probably, even though like I say, like I think film is like the highest pedigree of art, I think music is the most influential and powerful form of art, because you will listen to your favorite song 100 times a
yeah,
day, and then whether you like it or
yeah,
whether you realize it or not is going to like shape the way that you think. You understand? Like you're gonna
yeah,
start to think more like those songs that you're always playing. If those are angry songs, you're gonna be inclined to have angry thoughts. I'm not gonna say you're gonna
yeah,
be an angry person or do or
yeah,
have angry actions necessarily, but a lot of your thoughts will be angry. And if you listen to more, you know, whatever it is, like you are profoundly influenced by like the things that we intake. And music for me and for a lot of people is probably one of the things we intake the most, because it's just
yeah,
always on. It's all if it's always on, it's always for me. I brush my
yeah.
teeth to music, I run to music, I'm at the gym with music, I'm in the car with music, it's everywhere. So the things I listen to, I try to keep it to where
Yeah.
it's gonna, you know,
Yeah, it's
keep me
like you said,
grounded.
like the angry music makes you angry, and like the calm music. It's like it's a tool, right? We're using it as a
Yeah,
tool,
for sure.
like for our own spiritual growth. And like what you're saying, I used to like basically listen to music the whole day, like especially during my teen years. So I used to like go through
Hmm.
discographies, like you know, if I liked an
Yes.
artist, I would like listen to all
Yep.
their shit, and then they'd have featured artists, right? And that's what I love about hip hop.
Yes.
It's like everyone is open to working with other people. It's not like we are in a band and like you know you can't get those people because you know we just do our own shit. It's never that. It's like you find
Hmm.
so many artists just listening to artists, and you see a featured artist and you like go listen to
Yeah,
all
you're
of
like,
their
whoa,
shit.
damn, that verse is crazy. I
Yeah,
want to hear some more of this.
yeah, but like recently, I've actually stopped listening to music like throughout the day because I've kind of OD'd on it, right? And like I've realized now how much it's programming me, and like a lot of the stuff I used to listen to was
Mm.
like really like aggressive shit, but I still like that
Yeah,
shit. Like
for
when
sure.
you actually have a reason to be angry, you should actually listen to that shit just so that you can like channelize it and at least do something with it because it's better to do that than to like implode on your anger. But if you're not angry, why listen to it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. For me, yeah, definitely I definitely use music. I have certain albums that are like self prescriptions. Like, damn, when you feel like this, you're gonna put this on, and it's gonna level you out. When you
Yeah.
feel like this, put this on, and it's gonna level you out. You know what I mean?
Do you feel
For me,
like
like when I'm in my like anxious
yeah.
kind of states, like I put on Yeezus, and that shit does what it's supposed to do every single time.
Yeah, Kanye is the
Um,
best for that shit. Like he even said it himself. He's like, I'm your like that cup of coffee which you have in the morning, like, to let you know that you can do it. Like,
did
he
he say that? That's funny.
yeah, like he because he is, right? Like he is the creatives, like he's the creatives creative. Like you listen to
Oh
Kanye
yeah,
and you
yeah, that's
feel
my dude.
like, fuck, I can do anything. This guy, like, he wanted to make video games and then he started making beats and then he made a clothing line and he started like revolutionizing like how people film stuff, and I was doing
Hmm.
hotels. It's like, fuck, this guy, he has no boundaries, and like people put boundaries on him, but he's like, no, I'm not gonna accept that because it's bullshit. And
Right.
he does break all the systems. Like he does some bizarre shit also, like that whole like Donald Trump thing.
What can
Yeah,
you do, man?
yeah.
Like
But
somebody
it had a
whose mind
purpose.
is working at that level, of
Yeah,
course,
it had a
he's gonna be fucking.
purpose, like in the sense of like you're like, okay, fuck, like you can't like box people in because probably he's trying to be like, you're trying to box me in and say that I can't support Trump because I'm black. So I think it was more of
Mhm.
that, like, but
Honestly,
yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
yeah, it was more just like a contrarian, like, oh, this is what everyone's not on. I'm gonna do that then.
yeah.
Like,
But
yeah.
yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. I was talking about
Cre-
whatever it is, it's cool. But
but
yeah, yeah, like
yeah, man, that's just
yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
like, oh yeah, we're talking about music and you know
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask you. So,
how.
like, when you like do the self prescription with the music, do you feel like your own music, like, it obviously must be hitting you on a much higher level, right? Because
I think
it
so.
is from your own like thoughts, and
Yeah,
it's gonna be like directly what you're experiencing in a way. Like we get glimpses of our own experience in other people's art, and
yeah.
actually, recently I've been feeding a lot of other people's art. Like, I listen to it, I'm like, oh fuck, this is about my life. And like, I love that shit. But obviously, your own stuff must be like hitting you on some other level. So,
On a different
yeah.
level, bro, for sure. It's literally my favorite album of all time. Like I love, and that's not like an ego thing at all. I'm just truthfully saying, like,
Yeah.
I feel and I mean and I meant every single word that I said on that album, and I'm proud of just exactly what it is exactly what I wanted it to be. I listen to music all the time, and I'm sure you do too. As a creative, like, oh shit, I would have said this instead, or I would have did like a beat switch right here or something. Like I
Yeah.
did everything I wanted to do, and it's
Yeah.
exactly what I wanted it to be from front to back, and I love that shit.
Yeah.
So it's really really awesome to see that other people are getting something out of it too. You know, like going
Yeah.
back to that trophic level thing, like you can still
Yeah.
everyone's gonna get at least something, but for me it's like that is my heart, that's my soul. When I'm gone, that'll represent me well. Like
Yeah, that shit is timeless. Like, honestly, your albums, both of them, I feel like they are timeless in that sense. Like, I think anyone could listen to them at any time. Like, they're not time bound. Like, I don't think so.
yeah, thank you, I appreciate that.
Like
I'm
the
glad that's the
yeah.
case too. I'm thankful for everyone who helped, put this shit together. This is a group effort for sure. It took a bunch of my friends, all of my creative friends, were involved in the creative process.
And it has that energy. Like, it has the energy of like a bunch of people who are like, they have that vision collectively, and the
Yeah,
individuals at the same time. Like, they have the individualism with the collective vision, and it's like you don't have to fight. Like, you don't have to fight to like uh, make everyone like is raising each other to like a higher potential in a way
oh for
for the
sure,
future, which they
100%.
all already see. Like, I feel that.
Yeah, because those dudes, like I said, especially going back to the worst gen stuff, because obviously those are my closest friends. Number one, it's not just like I met these dudes in doing music, and then we started doing music together. Like they were my homies before anything else. So like I was there when they started making music. I've kind of always been making music, but I never took it seriously. I was in school band, and I started making beats. Like my brothers are 10 years older than me, so when they were 19, I was 9, and they taught me how to use FL and Cakewalk and stuff like that. And at the same time I joined school band, I was playing saxophone. So it's just like a lot of fun, learning about music and stuff like that. And then I guess fast forward to like ninth grade, I'm 15 or whatever, and that's when I meet like the rest of the worst gen. You know what I mean? I meet Fuji, I meet Remy, and Preston and stuff like that. Um, and we kind of met just on some skate shit, just on some chilling, skating. You know, we love
Yeah.
music. We kind of bonded. I bonded with Fuji through like MF Doom and Remy through the same thing, Joey Badass and stuff. So we like love listening to music. And then one day they just decided like, okay, yo, like Remy and Edie, like, yo, we're gonna start rapping, and they would rap, and then I would kind of just like listen, like, damn, like they're like I was there for when they were not very good, and I just saw it progress every single day. Like we just freestyling like 3-4 times a day, and after the first 2-3 weeks, it's like, oh shit, this is getting dope. And I'm just like, damn, I know a bit about music. Like if I could just learn to make beats and just be a full on producer, then we could have like this self sufficient machine where we could just make our own shit. So it's literally like
Yeah.
I was trying to catch up to them. Those are like my older homies a little bit. So it's like they were already on some shit. When I was like I was 16 recording songs when they were 18, 19, which are like fucking some of the craziest songs I've ever heard. You know, things that aren't even out. But just everything they did would inspire me. So
Yeah.
especially when it comes to like fast forward Exospheric, and now we're trading verses. It's like me and Fuji and Remy going back and forth. I love that pressure. It's like a pressure
Yeah.
that I feel is like, damn, I know they're gonna bring it, so I must bring it. I don't care like
Yeah.
how long. I don't care if I've only been rapping for 2 weeks. Like I'm rapping
Yeah.
with Fuji and Reams. You feel me?
Yeah.
This is not like it's not time to play around.
I feel that, man. Like especially like when you work with someone, and they're actually good. Like you like their stuff. It's like it pushes you to,
It feels good. Yeah.
and it pushes you to like improve in a good way.
Yes.
Like over here, honestly, like I've had a similar experience with like my friends who I used to chill with. So we used to just chill. Like we didn't like meet because of music. We met because
Yeah.
like we used to chill. Like I met them through some friends, and they came to my place. We used to chill, smoke, do stuff like that. And
Yeah.
honestly, yeah, like there have been a few times I've been like, yo, like I'm making the beats anyway. Like why don't you just record some shit? Like record some random ass shit. Like and those songs
Yeah.
are fucking crazy. But I haven't put them out, like a lot of them. And so this one friend of mine in school, like I remember he never heard rap music before I met him, and I put him onto rap music, and yeah, he raps quite well now. Like suddenly he's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna
It's
start.
really cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna start rapping. Like and his shit is not conventional either. It's like some really different shit. But the thing is, he's moved to another city now, so we can't like sit and work on stuff. But I made a lot
Oh,
of
not so easily, huh?
yeah. But I've made a lot of stuff with him. Just like we used to just chill and be like, okay, I'm like, bro, check out this beat, like just record some shit. And I'd record him, and I'd be like, fuck, it's good, like. And at the same time, like
not even
now-
expecting that.
Yeah, now I'm working with like other artists who like are artists in their own right, and then I'm meeting them. I'm like, dude, let's like work on some shit, and like they rap something and it's dope, and I'm like, okay, fuck, now I need to rap, and like it
Yeah,
just takes you
yeah,
to another
for
level.
sure.
Like you know what I'm saying? And you feel like every time I do a
Yeah, it's
song
really
with
cool,
someone
man.
else, yeah, I feel like I've leveled up in a way.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. I love that experience of working with, just people you respect, like artists you respect, and even just anyone who's willing to work is probably gonna do something dope, bro.
Yeah.
This thing that we do, being
Yeah.
creative, is easy as fuck. It's not hard. Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
So if you're really just willing to do it, like you'll
Yeah.
probably do something dope.
Yeah. Like a lot of people second guess themselves. They feel like
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like if you're not second guessing yourself, you're probably gonna do something dope.
yeah. And like I know a lot of people that way who've like used to tell me like teach me how to make beats and all because I want to make beats and shit. But a lot of them used to come from it like from the perspective of if I become a DJ or something, I could go and play in clubs and like make money and like people would think I'm cool. But they don't really give a fuck about music. Like I tell
Exactly.
them like if you really care about it, go get the software and just fuck around with it. But they wouldn't even do that. Like they're like, no, how do I download it? And like I'm like, fuck, bro, you're never gonna do anything because I knew this one guy.
For real.
I knew this one guy, so he's like, teach me how to make beats and all. So I was like, okay, cool. And he was into like house music. So he saw that movie with Zac Efron in it. The DJ movie. There's some movie about where Zac Efron is a DJ. Like it was like based on Avicii's
Oh, I don't
life.
know.
So it's a really corny movie, okay? And he saw that movie and he was like, oh yes, this is the secret of like how to make music, And
What the fuck?
so he like joined one of these classes. Like you have a lot of these classes here, electronic music production class. So you go like to some dingy place,
Oh yeah.
and like this guy teaches you like how to make beats and all. So he went there. He said, I've joined the class. I was like, cool, man. So like, learn some shit and then come back. And then I asked him after a while, like, how's your class going? So he's like, bro, I went there, and then the teacher told me, why have you joined this class? You can take my private tuitions, and like I'll teach you like privately, and you can pay less, and I'll teach you faster. So he's like, okay, I'll do that. So he got out of the school, and he's like, okay, now I'm gonna go to this private guy, and then he never went to that guy. So I was like, bro, you don't really give a fuck about this shit, because see, honestly, if you wanted to do this, you would have figured everything out on your own. Everything is there on the internet. You wouldn't act like
It's
such
not
a
hard.
yeah.
It's
You
not
wouldn't
hard.
act like
It's about
this.
who wants to do it.
Yeah,
Whoever wants to do it is gonna do it, bro. Like, it's not. I say that to humble myself, because it's like what I do. Yeah, I like. I love the
yeah,
art. I love all of my art in every medium. I'm sure you do too. I'm sure you take a look at your stuff. You're like, yeah, this I fuck with this. This represents me well, or it just is what it is.
yeah. It is what it is, and
But it's not
it's
difficult,
not
dude. You're just kind
anyone can do
of
it.
you're like receiving a
Yeah,
message from somewhere else, from the super conscious, whatever you want to call it, from God, from whatever. It's like it's just coming to you.
yeah,
It doesn't require a whole lot of like math and fucking. It's just it's a feeling.
yeah.
You're just getting a feeling down. It's instinctive. It's intuitive.
That's true, man. Like, and like I used to get pissed at people also, like, in that sense, like, because it's so easy. So I used to tell people, just do it, like, But now I've stopped doing that, because I realize not everyone wants to be an artist. So
Yeah.
you shouldn't like push it on everyone. Maybe it's not for them. And like yeah, and also if they wanted to, they would do it. So it's like there's no point really. And what you said is true. Like it keeps you humble to remember that there's nothing really that special about what we're doing. It's just like a
Right.
science, like a scientist. Like people don't think scientists are that special, but they're just like they have so much knowledge of all those physical properties of things and like stuff like that. We have knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have knowledge of like music and like how people perceive it. So we're like psychologists and
Yeah.
scientists like
Yeah.
mixed. And like there are a lot of people who are good at other things, and like anyone can learn this shit if they want to do it.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. Is
yeah.
like I'm not that
It's not, yeah,
special. You feel
it's
me?
not that special. Like, it's just the special thing is you choosing to like really do it seriously. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
It's a
The
dedication.
special thing to
Yeah,
me is my environment. The special thing to me is like that the people who raised
yeah,
me, the people who I grew up around, and like all these different things led to this set of circumstances that is very rare, to where I still have this creative bone to pursue. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like as I'm an adult. Because for a lot of times, I know a lot of my friends who are fucking awesome. Either they're like an
yeah,
awesome guitar player, or a really good producer, or a really good painter or something, but their environment does not allow for the growth of that, which is
yeah,
the growth of themselves. You know, they're like,
yeah,
oh, you got to get a job, you got to get out, you got to do something. So you lose that, and
yeah,
then you end up doing something that you get maybe paid well in, but it doesn't align with your actual self. You know what I mean? Like whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter really what you're doing or
yeah,
how much you're making from it. It should be aligned with who you are.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if
No,
you
no, for
love
sure.
coffee and you love to talk about coffee, it's dope to work at a coffee place.
Yeah,
But you know what I
yeah,
mean? And if you love electronics, if you like cameras and stuff, then it'd be awesome to work at, Best Buy or Sam
yeah,
Ash or something, or just some sort of music store. But yeah, if you're doing
yeah,
something that you don't care about, like if you're then you're like it's very it's damaging
yeah,
to your soul. To me, it's damaging. You're
yeah,
spending probably most of your time doing something that you don't like or you don't care about. That's not cool. You know.
yeah. And yeah,
I
it's
feel
like
like
a
just
lot
as
of
a
people
society, we
don't.
should encourage people
Yeah,
to do what they love to do, or just do something that aligns with themselves.
yeah, and what you're saying about the environment is so true. Like we're actually very blessed. Like people don't, a
Yeah,
lot of people
yeah,
don't have the
blessed for
option.
sure.
They don't even have the option to do this. Like to do
Yeah,
anything which they don't have the option not to do something which they don't want to do. They have to do it.
yeah,
And like with all the internet and everything, like we see like the fucked up shit everywhere in the world. But at the same time, the people who we connect to usually are not in those fucked up situations. So we just think that, like it's a given that we have all this choice. But everyone doesn't have
no, it's definitely
yeah,
not.
everyone doesn't have the same choices that we have. So it's like, yeah, we are really blessed with the environment. And like you
Yeah, you got to
said,
think about yourself.
yeah,
Like the circumstances that allow you to do the things that you do,
yeah,
like, are very rare.
yeah,
It's very rare for you to be able to just create as often as you do. Like
yeah,
that's pretty much all you do, I would assume.
yeah.
That's awesome.
like like a lot of artists are jaded that way. Like I used to be very jaded. Like I was like, fuck. The only reason I'm so good at all this stuff is because like no one wanted to hang out with me or something, so I've been at home. But like honestly, I chose that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
chose that shit.
it's true.
So I didn't like
Because
hanging out. Yeah.
you could have
Yeah.
been who they wanted you to be. You could
Yeah.
have, you're smart enough, and you're a psychologist and you're a scientist, like you said. So if you wanted to, you're like, okay, if I'm this type of person, I'll be accepted amongst this group, and then I could just kind of ride that.
Yeah.
I can, make all these friends. I can have a wife that likes me for this person who you're really not even that person. But you had the opportunity to do that, but you chose to just take your own route. Like, nope, this is me. Don't give a fuck. These are the things that I like. I'm gonna learn how to do them, and it's gonna take me somewhere. And you're right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is, once you actually go through it, then people actually are like, you know what? It's good that you're doing this. It's good.
Exactly.
Because like, they're all gonna say
People
like,
are just starting to
sure?
understand now. For
Are
me,
you sure
yeah.
you want to do this? Like, don't you want to do something
Yep.
stable, something normal? But like once you actually do it, then people are like, oh fuck, this works. Like a lot of my friends, like after my shit is kind of like more stable in terms of like now I can say that I'm doing this. Like I'm interacting with other artists. So I guess that's how you can say that you're part of like the thing. Like if you're just
Yeah.
doing shit by yourself, people are like, what are you doing? You're just staying at home and like you're making some music and like no one's hearing it. But like once you get to a point where people can see that it has some external effect, then they're like, okay, it's cool. You have added to society in some way. So it's chill then. It's more chill. Like you can be like, okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all aren't like flipping out that I'm like doing something else. So yeah,
it's
chill.
really cool. I think people like maybe that people I grew up with and the people that just be around me but not too close to me are finally starting to understand. Like, yo, okay, he's onto something. They're doing something over there. They're not just fucking around. Like, I think it's visible. I think it's clear that okay, we're onto something.
Yeah.